discuss about the comparator circuit. We have discussed the two types of the comparator, inverting comparator and the non-inverting comparator. Basically, in a comparator, we use the operational amplifier with the open loop and not providing any kind of a feedback. So the gain of the operational amplifier is very, very high. So if we apply a small signal at the input, then the output of the op-amp will be in a saturation. So either it will be in a plus V saturation or it will be in a minus V saturation. Now, if my input signal is a kind of a noisy signal, then due to this noise, you will get a kind of a force triggering in the output of the comparator. Here you can see this example, that this is my input signal and it is a kind of a noisy. And suppose the reference voltage of the comparator is this. So here if we see the output of the comparator, then it will be like this. That you can see here my input voltage is greater than the reference voltage. So the output of the comparator will go to the plus V saturation till this point. Correct? But here now you have a zero crossing, that is due to the noise, your input voltage is crossing the reference voltage. So in that case, here the output will be changing in this way. Then here also we have a zero crossing at this point. Then again the output voltage is going to be changed like this. At this point also you can see at all this point the zero crossing is there. So this output of the comparator will be changed in this way. So here you can see that this is a kind of a false triggering is there. This is also a false triggering. So due to this output of the comparator, the output is continuously changing from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. In the output of the comparator, if we have connected the relay switch, then due to the noise, the relay switch will go on catering, means it is go on and off, and you will not get the stable state. So to avoid this kind of the situation, we have a modified comparator circuit which is known as a regenerative comparator, or another name of this circuit is a Schmitt trigger circuit. In a regenerative comparator, we provide a positive feedback. So basically the Schmitt trigger circuit, remember, Schmitt trigger circuit is a comparator with positive feedback. With positive feedback. Okay. We know that there are disadvantages of the positive feedback. Circuit is going to be unstable, but if we have a small amount of the positive feedback, then it doesn't make any difference. So by providing this positive feedback, we can avoid this kind of a false triggering in the comparator. Now look at this circuit. If you remember the circuit for a inverting or a non-inverting amplifier. Here I am going to draw a circuit for a non-inverting amplifier. So here we have the operational amplifier. This is my input voltage is here. We apply positive, and here we have a feedback resistance, correct, like this. This one is R1, this one is R2, and this is my output voltage. We apply the input voltage. So this is nothing but it is a kind of a non-inverting amplifier. this resistance R1 and R2 is going to provide a negative feedback to the operational amplifier. So here in this case the output voltage will be a proportional to the input voltage. Means if the input voltage will increase, the output voltage will also increase. If it will decrease, the output voltage will decrease. So there is a linear relation between the input and the output voltage. But now here, if I will interchange the polarity of this, if this is going to be a negative and this one is positive, means if I will apply my input signal to a inverting input of the operational amplifier and the feedback is given to a non-inverting terminal of the operational amplifier, then here we have a positive feedback. Remember, here we have a positive feedback, and this circuit is known as a Schmitt trigger circuit. It is a inverting Schmitt trigger circuit. Now let us see the working of this circuit. So remember, whatever the non-inverting amplifier was there, in that case we have interchanged the terminal of the operational amplifier, then it is to be converted into a inverting Schmitt trigger circuit. Now the same circuit is here that you can see. Here whatever the output voltage is there, this output voltage, the fraction of this output voltage is given to the non-inverting terminal of this, of the operational amplifier. Means the polarity of this output voltage and the polarity of whatever my feedback voltage is there, it will be the same one, and you can say this will ensure that we have a positive feedback. Input signal is applied to a inverting terminal of the operational amplifier. Now, due to the positive feedback, the gain of the amplifier is very high, and in that case the operational amplifier will be always in a saturation mode. So this output voltage of the operational amplifier will be either in a plus V saturation or it will be in a minus V saturation. Remember, because we have applied a positive feedback, so there will not be a linear relation between the input and output. Output will be always very large compared to the input voltage. So here either it will be in a plus V saturation or it will be in minus V saturation. So here when this will be in a plus V saturation, then my feedback voltage will be positive. If this output voltage will be in a minus V saturation, the feedback voltage will be a negative. So here let us consider the if output voltage is plus V saturation, correct? Suppose the VO is in plus V saturation. So here we can write this is a plus V saturation, and if we calculate this feedback voltage, we can calculate by applying the potential divider rule. Feedback voltage means nothing but it is a voltage across the resistance R1, and my total voltage is VO into R1 divided by R1 plus R2, or we can say this is equal to a plus V saturation R1 divided by R1 plus R2. This is a one of the feedback voltage. Now remember, suppose the output is a minus V saturation. Suppose the VO is equal to minus V saturation, then in that case the feedback voltage will be a negative and it will be minus V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So here we have two possibilities. Either the voltage, this feedback voltage will be a positive or it is negative. And this voltage is going to be compared with your input voltage and correspondingly you will get the output. So here if I will consider, let us say the voltage applied to a inverting terminal, we call this as a V minus, and the voltage applied to a non-inverting terminal, we call this as a V plus. Now in operational amplifier, we know that the output voltage is proportional to the difference of these two voltage, and that is the V plus and the V minus, because it is basically a differential amplifier. So it is amplifying the difference between these two terminal, voltage of these two terminal. And this output voltage will be equal to, we can write AOL into V plus V minus. Remember, what is AOL? AOL is the open loop gain of op-amp, and normally it is very high, 10⁵ to 10⁶ will be there. It is, or if you consider it is an ideal op-amp, then this output voltage will be infinite into V plus V minus. Correct? So infinite into V plus V minus, but we know that the output voltage of the op-amp cannot be infinite, but it is very high, and that we can say the op-amp is in a saturation mode. So this output voltage will be a V saturation voltage will be there. V saturation will be approximately a 90% of your supply voltage. Now try to understand that if the V plus is greater than V minus, what it means? V plus is my feedback voltage and the V minus is my input voltage. It means the feedback voltage is greater than my input voltage. So here this bracket, this will comes out to be a positive. The difference will comes out to be a positive, and here the output voltage will be a plus V saturation. Remember, it is in plus V saturation. So if the output voltage is V plus V saturation, this indicates that the feedback voltage here, this V saturation means my feedback voltage will be also a positive, and that is plus V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Remember, whenever we have a non-inverting voltage greater than the inverting voltage, at that time the output voltage will be a plus V saturation, and that will give you a positive feedback voltage. Now here, if we have a V minus greater than V plus, means my input voltage is greater than the feedback voltage. Input voltage is greater than feedback voltage. So this here, now this V minus is greater than V plus, means this bracket value will comes out to be a negative, and that will generate a negative saturation voltage, minus V saturation. and minus V saturation will generate a negative feedback voltage. So here the feedback voltage will be equal to minus V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay. So here my feedback voltage is negative, and so you can see we have two different feedback voltage. One is a positive and another is negative. This indicates the operational amplifier has two different trigger levels. This trigger level is known as a UTP, means upper trigger point, and this negative feedback voltage is known as a LTP, that is known as a lower trigger point. So output of this circuit will be triggered or it will be changed whenever my input voltage either it is crossing the UTP or it is going to cross the LTP, and accordingly the output voltage will be either it will be in a plus V saturation or it will be in a minus V saturation. So here I will write these two expressions, and then we will see the behavior of the circuit. That my first trigger point is a UTP, and that is represented as V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Another trigger point is a LTP, that is minus V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Correct? These are the two important points. Now, let us see the behavior of the circuit. Means we apply a different input voltage and we will check what will be the output voltage. So, here I am making a kind of a table. Correct? My input voltage will be there. Then we have a what will be the feedback voltage. Now, when the feedback voltage is there, then what is the relation between the V plus and V minus? And then we will see what is the output voltage. Remember that my input voltage is nothing but it is a V minus. Feedback voltage is nothing but it is a V plus. And here we will see what is the relation. But let us say, first of all, we apply a negative voltage, very large input negative voltage. Correct? So suppose this is a minus 3 volt is there, minus 3 volt. Correct? My input signal is minus 3. Now remember, when I am applying a negative voltage to the inverting terminal, then naturally the output voltage will be a positive. This is a large negative voltage is there. So output voltage will be definitely a positive voltage. So here we have a V saturation, because the operational amplifier will go to the saturation, positive saturation voltage. And whenever the positive saturation voltage will be there, then my feedback voltage will be also a positive. Here, for the calculation purpose, we will consider, let us say R1 is equal to a 9 kilo ohm, R2 is equal to a 1 kilo ohm. Then if I will calculate what is my UTP or the feedback voltage at this point, that is, let us say the saturation voltage. Voltage is 10 volt. this is a plus 10 into R1 is 1k divided by 1k plus 9k. So this will come out to be a 10, 10 will be cancelled. It is a plus 1 volt. Then if I will calculate the LTP, this is minus 10 into 1k divided by 1k plus 9k. This will come out to be a minus 1 volt. Correct? So in this way, my UTP is a plus 1 volt and the LTP is minus 1 volt. Means the circuit will be triggered whenever the input voltage is crossing a plus 1 volt and minus 1 volt. Correct? Okay. So when I am applying a very large input, very large negative input voltage, this ensures that the output voltage will be a plus V saturation, and when it will be a plus V saturation, then we have a feedback voltage. This feedback voltage will be equal to nothing but it is a UTP, and that is a plus 1 volt. So my feedback voltage is plus 1 volt. And here you can see that the V plus is greater than V minus. Correct? V plus is greater than V minus, and this ensures that the output voltage is always positive. So this is true in this condition. Okay. Now I am applying a minus 2 volt. Minus 2 volt here. Instead of this, we provide a minus 2 volt. Then, what is the output voltage? It is in plus V saturation. So, my feedback voltage is also a 1 volt. Here, this is remaining a 1 volt. My input voltage is minus 2. So, here again in this condition, the V plus is greater than V minus. So, naturally, the output voltage will be in a plus V saturation. Now, if I will apply a minus 1 volt, then the output is in a plus V saturation, then definitely here we have a 1 volt. This is, let us say, minus 1 volt is there. So the V plus is plus 1. So again this relation is going to be hold. So V plus is greater than V minus, and the output voltage will be in a plus V saturation. Remember, here whatever the output voltage is there, this output voltage we write in this way, that is a AOL into V plus minus V minus. So whenever this difference is positive, then the output voltage will be plus V saturation. Whenever the difference is negative, in that case it is minus V saturation. Here, the V plus is greater than V minus, and this is a V minus greater than V plus. And accordingly, I am writing the output voltage is positive or negative. Now, suppose your input voltage is 0 volt. So, here we have a 0 volt. So, what is the difference? Here again, the V plus is greater than V minus. So, V plus is greater than V minus, so output voltage will be in a plus V saturation, and my feedback voltage will be in a plus 1 volt. Now, as we increase the voltage, then let us say by increasing this voltage, my input voltage become a 1 volt. 1 volt. So, now here what will happen? That V plus and V minus both are same. Here my feedback voltage is 1 volt. But what will be the output? Here the output will be triggered from minus V saturation to plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Remember, this point is very important. Here in this case, the output will change from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Now, let us apply some other voltage. Plus 1 volt. Now I am applying a plus 2 volt. Alright. Now, what is the output? That is in minus V saturation. And whenever we have minus V saturation, then my feedback voltage will switch over to minus 1 volt. Remember. So the feedback voltage is minus 1 volt. Here, now this feedback is nothing but it is a LTP and that is minus 1 volt, and here I am applying a plus 1 volt. So you can see now the V minus is greater than V plus, and whenever V minus is greater than V plus, then the output will be minus V saturation. Again you go on increasing, you apply a plus 3 volt, here again this relation is going to be volt, and you will have minus V saturation, this will be a negative feedback voltage. Now we will decrease. Here indefinitely now you apply the plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, the output of the circuit will remain in a negative saturation. Now when you apply we decrease the voltage, then let us say it is a plus 2 volt. So in plus 2 volt, again this feedback voltage is minus 1, V minus is greater than V plus, we have minus V saturation. Now when this voltage reduced to a plus 1 volt, then the same situation will be there. The V minus is greater than V plus, because this is minus 1 volt and this is minus V saturation. But if I will apply a minus 1 volt, I am decreasing this voltage. Then if this is okay, let us we apply the 0 volt, then this is remain minus 1 volt, V minus is greater than V plus, this will be in minus V saturation. Remember, here this is a 0 volt, and here you can see the minus V is greater than this is negative, minus 1 volt, so output will be a minus V saturation. Now again we decrease this voltage and it will become a minus 1 volt. What is my feedback voltage at that time? Minus 1 volt. So here V minus and the V plus both are same. Means the transition will occur. And the transition will occur means the previous state was a minus V saturation, now it will go to the plus V saturation. So here output will change from minus V saturation to a plus V saturation. So again this is a important lever. So now we applied a minus 2 volt. So now the output is going to the plus V saturation. So my feedback voltage become a positive 1 volt. So in that case the V plus is greater than V minus and we have a plus V saturation. plus greater than V minus, so output will be remaining a plus V saturation. Okay. So here I have changed the voltage from minus 3 volt to 0 to plus 3 volt, and then from plus 3 volt to minus 3 volt, and this output is go on changing like this. Now we will draw a graph between the output voltage and input voltage, which is known as a transfer characteristics. Remember. So what is the transfer characteristics? Now on the y-axis, the output voltage is there. On the x-axis, the input voltage is there. And let us say somewhere here we have plus V saturation output, and somewhere here we have minus V saturation. This is my 0 volt, this is plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, we have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So these are my different input voltage. Correct? Now here when my input voltage is minus 3, the output is plus V saturation. So minus 3 and plus V saturation. So this is the point. Same way for minus 2, saturation voltage is there. For minus 1, again the plus V saturation. For 0 also a plus V saturation. And at plus 1 volt, you can see that output is changing from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. So here we have a plus V saturation to minus V saturation. And then if we increase the voltage plus 2, plus 3, then this is remain in a minus V saturation. We have this kind of the voltage. If we join all these points, then the curve is like this. So here we have changed the voltage in this direction. Correct? And this is nothing, this point is nothing, but it is my UTP. Now, if we decrease the voltage, you can see for a plus 2, minus V saturation is there, plus 2, minus V saturation, plus 1, again it is in a minus V saturation. Then for the 0, also minus V saturation is there. Then when minus 1 volt is coming here, then the output will change. Output is changing from a minus V saturation to a plus V saturation. Correct? And then for minus 1 volt, minus 2 volt, minus 3 volt, we have a minus plus V saturation. So if I will join all the points, so here my input voltage is moving in this direction and the output is changing like this. This point is my LTP. So here you can see whenever your input voltage is crossing the UTP or LTP, we have a kind of a transition in the output of the circuit. Now, when you are decreasing the voltage, remember, at the same point it is not going to be triggered from minus V saturation to plus V saturation. It is going to be triggered at different point where it is changing from minus V saturation to plus V saturation. So this graph is like a hysteresis curve, known as the hysteresis curve. I think in physics already you learned about the hysteresis curve, and this is known as a hysteresis width, which is represented by a H. So, what is the hysteresis width? That you can calculate. This hysteresis width H is given. It is a difference of what? Upper transition point minus lower transition point. And we know that the formula for the UTP is a V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2 minus, when the LTP is minus V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So here minus minus will be equal with plus. So we have plus V saturation into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. This is known as a hysteresis voltage of a given Schmitt trigger circuit. This band is also known as a dead band. It is known as the dead band or dead zone. Right? Why it is known as a dead zone? So in this region, if my input voltage is increased or decreased, the output is remain in a previous stage only. It is not going to change. Now, what is the importance of this hysteresis? So if the amplitude of the noise is within the hysteresis voltage or less than the hysteresis voltage, you will not get a kind of a false triggering, because in that case the output of the comparator will remain in a previous state. Again, if the noise, amplitude of the noise is less than my hysteresis voltage, then the Schmitt trigger output is not going to be changed. It will remain in a previous state. So you can avoid a kind of a false triggering in a comparator circuit. Now try to understand here in this region. Remember, in this region my input voltage is less than LTP as well as the input voltage is less than UTP. So here you can say that if the input voltage is less than LTP as well as if it is also less than UTP, then in this case the output voltage will be in a plus V saturation, that you can see. Now here, if this input voltage, in this region input voltage is greater than UTP as well as the input voltage is greater than LTP also. So what is the output voltage? Minus V saturation. So second thing you have to remember, if the input voltage is greater than UTP as well as the input voltage is greater than LTP, then definitely the output of the Schmitt trigger will be in minus V saturation. And here, this is the region where the input voltage is between the LTP and the UTP. LTP and UTP. So in this case, the output of the Smith trigger is not going to change. It is remaining in a previous state. So third thing which you have to remember, that if the input voltage is between the LTP and the UTP, the output voltage will remain in a previous state. There will not be change in the output. Correct? So this is the working of a Smith trigger circuit. Now we will take a one simple example and you will see how the sine wave is going to be converted into a square wave. Suppose my input voltage to the Smith trigger circuit is 5 sine omega t, means the amplitude of the signal is a 5 volt, and here you can draw this waveform like this. So this amplitude is a 5 volt. This is my input voltage. Remember here, whatever the waveform is there, it is for the input voltage. This we have a 0. Now we will consider the same circuit where my LTP and the UTP is plus 1 volt and the LTP is minus 1 volt. So I will mark this here. Let us say we have this plus 1 volt, that is the UTP, and this is my LTP minus 1 volt. Correct? Now we have to see what will be the output of the Smith trigger circuit. Right? So for this, again we will draw the waveform, and then wherever the LTP and UTP is there, that you have to mark it. Remember, I am going to draw the waveform for the output voltage. This is my UTP point. This one is the LTP point. Again, this one is the UTP point, and this one is the LTP point. Now remember, for all this voltage, my input voltage is between the LTP and UTP. So I have no idea that the output will be in a plus V saturation or a minus V saturation. But we know that this point here, first of all I will mark out this point. Okay. Now here you can see my UTP is there and the input voltage is crossing the input UTP with the positive slope. Means crossing this input is the positive slope, it is increasing. And if you remember in a previous stage, I already mentioned that if the input is crossing the UTP, then the output will change from a plus V saturation to minus V saturation. So here output, if you draw, then this is a plus V saturation, this is a minus V saturation, we have a plus V saturation, so it is changing in this way. Okay, now for all this value of the input voltage, here the input voltage is greater than the UTP, then the output will remain a minus V saturation. Here it is input voltage is crossing the LTP and it is go on decreasing. Remember, So in that case, the output will change the state from a minus V saturation to a plus V saturation. Then this, for all this value of the input voltage, it is less than the LTP, so it will remain in a plus V saturation. Now here what will happen? For all this point, my input voltage is between the LTP and UTP. So it is not changing the state and it will remain in a previous state. Again, it is crossing the UTP, so output is changing from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Here, for all this value, the input voltage is greater than the UTP, so we have a minus V saturation. Okay, so here we have seen that it is output is changing from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. It means definitely here the output of the operational amplifier between the 0 to 1 volt output will be in a plus V saturation. So in this way the sine wave is going to be converted into a square wave. Okay. Now in the next session we will discuss a few examples and we will also discuss a Schmitt trigger circuit with a different LTP and the UTP.